Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Tadowski's Shelter. One of the reasons I got into making LSS content was because I didn't understand 90% of what was being said in the game. There are tons of specific terms that start to get confusing if you do not start to grasp them early. The terms will then get built on to create more specific outcomes for specific events that take place in game. As I started to learn more about these terms and how things operated, I knew that the majority of other players were in the same boat as I was. The vast majority of players I come across rarely understand what things actually mean and how to analyze things to make their base unique to them. They generally watch some 5-year-old videos on a topic and just follow it, even though things have changed drastically since then. I tried to do some of this in other videos, but because the topics were broad, the videos tended to be longer and the terms would get lost in the middle of the videos. So something I'm going to start creating is shorter videos that solely talk about terms and their definitions. I will give a brief example after defining it, and then I will move on to the next term in the topic. I will break these videos down by topics: APCs, heroes, battles, specialty points, etc., etc. Each topic has their own terms that add onto other terms. So I will try to do this in a somewhat coordinated manner so that you can easily follow along. Something you can do very quickly though is hit that like and subscribe button to support to the channel and keep me making videos that you want to see. The more feedback I get from you all, the more I know how to gear my videos. So why am I doing this now? I feel that I have a good base video for each topic that can allow players to delve deeper if they need to. I also think educated players make the game way more entertaining and fun. Following someone else's recommendations all the time just means everyone will have the same thing, and differentiating factors will basically be who has more research done on certain things. This can be changed if players understand what they are looking at. The only way they can know what they're looking at is if they understand the terms that are being used. I know this introduction is a bit longer than I planned, but I plan for the videos to be much shorter in the future with a very short introduction and just getting into the information. Because the introduction of this video was much longer, I will attempt to start this series with a more basic and quicker topic so that the intended shorter length is applied. So without further ado, today's actual topic will be battle basics. I know we've talked about these terms until we are blue in the face, but we still get new players and new viewers that haven't seen any of the original videos. So if this is their first introduction to the game, hopefully this can help assist them in understanding how battles work and what the heck everything means. We're going to look at troop terminology, and the troop information screen will be the basis of all these terms. The first term we're going to look at is troop type, which is a specific kind of troop, meaning shooters, fighters, or vehicles. There are 4 total buildings that make troops. Training troops creates brand new troops from your resources. These troops did not exist prior, and only 3 buildings can train troops: fighter camp, shooting range, and vehicle factory. Now, promoting troops is slightly different. Promotion takes already existing troops and levels them up to a different tier. For example, a tier 3 vehicle, the hit and runner, can be promoted to a tier 9 vehicle, the meat harvester. This does not create new troops, it just strengthens already existing troops. And this can only be done in one building, the command center. Now, a unit is one single troop. Troop type and unit type are sometimes used interchangeably. A squad is a group of one specific troop type. For example, 100,000 shooters makes up a squad. The might of a unit is the ability to cause damage. It is the unit's strength. It's the value of a unit's attack. Shooter's might is one of the highest troop mights in the game. Resistance, on the other hand, is the unit's ability to absorb damage, and fighters have the highest resistance in the game. They can take or absorb more damage than any other troop. The HP of a unit is the life value of a unit. Before a troop is considered out of the battle, their HP needs to be at 0 or below. Damage caused applies directly to the HP. If a unit has an HP of 10 and takes 12 damage, they will be at -2 HP and die. Combat power is going to be a number used to assume the overall strength of a commander. This is a number solely used for ranking commanders and not utilized in battles in any way, shape, or form. This has no relevance to actual gameplay or battles. The higher a commander's combat power, the assumption is that they are stronger overall. You can see the rankings of how strong commanders are through the settings menu. Combat power is made up of more than just troops. It also adds in things like hero levels, structure levels, research, and so much more. Marching speed is how fast the unit can move across a map. The higher the number, the faster they can move from point A to point B. This does not apply directly in battle, but it can get you to your destination faster. Fighters and shooters are slower than vehicles, and vehicles will have a much higher marching speed than any other unit. Combat speed is not shown on this screen, but because we were talking about marching speed, I figured we'd throw in combat speed. Combat speed is how fast a squad can attack during a battle. The higher the combat speed, the faster they will be able to attack in battle. At the start of each battle round, the combat speed of all 6 squads is measured. The highest combat speed will go first, and then the order will go in descending order from highest to lowest combat speeds. The load is how many resources a unit can carry. This number is how many resources or resource equivalent that a unit can carry when raiding another base or gathering resources. Resource equivalent means that 2 resources may not weigh the same, and therefore the amount of resources cannot be the same. To break this down further, food is the base number for load. So for example, 1 food will equal 1 load. Since iron weighs more than food, you cannot carry the same amount of iron as you can food. So for example, 1 iron will be equivalent to 4 food. To get an idea of how much a single squad can carry, multiply the load number by how many troops there are in the squad. Fuel and food consumption. This is how much the unit will cost you on a continual basis. Troops need to eat and drink, and vehicles need gas. This number represents this real-life situation. Your troops will consume resources just by having them. You can also see this total number on the base main screen by tapping on the food or fuel resource at the top and looking at the consumption. Damage. Now, damage continues our battle talk. Damage is the amount of actual harm caused to something in such a way as to impair its value, usefulness, and normal function. This number will be subtracted from a unit's HP and from a building's durability on a larger scale. To figure out how much damage a unit causes will be dependent on the troops it faces. In a general sense, the damage is going to be the difference between might and resistance. If the might is greater than the resistance, the leftover might is how much damage will be inflicted. If the resistance is greater than the might, then no damage will be inflicted. The damage is going to be the actual amount of might that is over the resistance. If a unit has 10 might, and faces a unit with 7 resistance, then the damage of the unit inflicts is 3. The 3 will be applied to the defending unit's HP, and this is topic 1. I'll be working more on these, and I hope the more streamlined use helps. Since the future videos will be shorter, I will try to put more of these out and hit as many various topics as possible. Remember to like and subscribe for more LSS content, and join the Discord for more LSS discussions. Leave a comment if there is a specific term you cannot understand, and I can try to assist more on it. Remember, help each other out, share the information, but most importantly, be safe out there.